Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. It was going to be what if Izuku was born with the ultimate strength quirk. So, before we begin, anything to do, like gaming, chores, homework, regular work, or just anything around the house, do that with listen to me. Yeah, I edit, or I don't edit, I just talk. So, let's begin. In this world, Izuku Midoriya is not born quirkless. Instead, he enters the world already displaying very incredible signs of strength. His quirk is a mixture of transformation and mutant type quirk, being that I compare his initial body to having Superman syndrome. If you don't know what that is, read Tengen Ashura or Tengen Omega. But what's the character's name real quick? Yeah, I'd make sure I got it right. Wakatsuki Takeshi. Basically Superman syndrome, where basically I'll trace this. I'm gonna phrase it in a good way, so I'm gonna just pull it up real quick. Basically, his muscle density is a lot higher than average. I think it's 52 times higher than average. Midoriya is basically born like that. The fact that his body doesn't really get bulky is more the fact that his body compresses. Like his quirk kind of just how do I phrase it? His quirk does the most while making him look normal. So it's just kind of a weird thing. But his quirk fully awakens when he and Bakugo are both around 5 to 6 years old. Bakugo's still bullying Midoriya, not thinking his quirk awakening, thinking he's stronger than average. But then one day Midoriya pushes Bakugo with one hand to get him off of him when he's blasting him, and he sends Bakugo flying through a cement wall, or a concrete wall. After a week in the ER, Bakugo is good, and he learns to never mess with Midoriya until his explosions are much stronger. And Midoriya's quirk is called Iron Juggernaut. Quirk grants him basically overwhelming durability, offensive power, and it's classified as a mutant and transformation type quirk. So yeah, but for mutant type, it basically is a passive enhancement to his muscles for super resilience, durability, and he basically hits like an actual battering ram to anything his fist lands against. It's basically a mixture of immovable object and unstoppable force put into one object. And I actually did take apart a few different quirks to put it into this one quirk. As I'm not going to phrase it. Pause. I took apart a few different quirks or aspects of quirks to put them into this one, or basically just combined a ton of different quirks as well. Now, the transformation aspect is a whole other ability that they don't know how it works, but it's kind of like he has two quirks yet not. As it's not unheard of, it's just exceedingly rare. Like the Todoroki, that's just kind of just two quirks put into one. It's half hot, half cold. So with that, Midoriya's Iron Juggernaut has a new ability, not new, but a second ability, being that he gets stronger the more hopeful he is within himself. Basically, the more self-assured he is, the stronger he gets. And it's kind of just crazy because Midoriya is essentially a natural bundle of optimism and indomitable will. So, yeah, basically he's at full power at all times. And even if he's not, he's always at around 88% if you want to lowball it. But I'd probably put him on like 93 at the bare minimum, in my opinion. So I'm going to go over all the quirks Midoriya would have aspects of. First, shock absorption. This is usually the ability to basically reduce the effectiveness of physical blows. But the quirk does not really provide defense against things like fire, ice. They probably can absorb Bakugo's explosion for the impact part of it, but then I'm pretty sure they're still going to get burned by it. So yeah, and there's still a limit of what the user can take, but there's more durability quirks within Iron Juggernaut. So Midoriya basically has an unlimited shock absorption ability. Not unlimited, but a nearly impenetrable one. Impact recoil allows users to reverse impact by an opposing force. Still only in blunt force impact reflection thing. So yeah, he does that. He can do that. Not as high as the actual level as the actual quirk, but to some degree, where basically he has to tense up his muscles. When it hits him, then immediately he can release his muscles and the attack will be sent back at you. Or at least some of the damage will. So yeah. It was kind of just coiling all the damage into one and then blasting it out once it's uncoiled. Endurance. This is either to convert their morale into physical energy. There it is. And it can be transformed into physical energy, stamina. It can increase their endurance by a lot. Then another endurance quirk, Energy Saver. Allows your body to basically function without much need for sleep, nutrition, hydration, all that. You basically become the ultimate night owl with that. I don't know what else to tell you. Fierce gains allows users' muscles to harden on very, very high levels. Believe it or not, a lot of these quirks actually come from Gigantomachia. So, yeah. Strong Arm. That comes from Rappa, the guy who punched Hiroshima to pieces. Not to pieces, but basically punched apart with Riot Unbreakable. That was under rotated shoulders at extreme speeds, allowing him to hit his targets with near Eden's barrage of bullet punches, or bullet speed punches. I'm just going to put speed of... And there we go. Now, this quirk can only stay active for a few seconds, but if these are skilled enough, that's all it takes to wear down enemy. Like, Rappa is a trained fighter. If you can punch at the speed of an Uzi for 5 seconds, he will wear you down because he just knows that he can utilize his fist in the best way possible. And the final quirk, Bruiser. He can power up one of his limbs, allowing him to charge an attack with a powerful blow. So yeah, all these quirks combined basically means, in a one-on-one fight, you are going to be the dominant force no matter what. Offensively and defensively. All you can really lose against is quite literally experience, skill, and more blow force impact than you can handle. Or if you're Endeavor, you can just literally burn through them. So yeah. Pause. Okay. By the way, this is not like, oh, this boy's body has all these quirks combined. No, they should literally think he has the ultimate kind of strength quirk. Like, even when, like, Ushio talks to All For One about this. All For One's like, you said, like, it's this own quirk. I might want it. But after a few more tests, All For One just hears, like, yeah, a lot of the actual durability reinforcement is a mutation type ability. And All For One's like, alright, well, fuck it then. I guess I can't have it, because it's a new gen quirk, and it's a mutation. Mutations are a lot hard to learn how to use. They're meant for one body, not for someone else. It is the equivalent of giving, like, let's erase this. I compare it to, like, maybe giving, like, someone who's never been able to walk, having their ability to walk, or their inability to walk, given to someone else who can walk, basically swapping them. Now one person doesn't know how to survive with a wheelchair. One person doesn't know how to walk. They've never had to. So it would take extensive training, but often does not have that time to train. He literally cannot see. So basically, his body would either have a very bad reaction to it, or it literally would just take too long to master. Because the quirk is meant for this body. So yeah. By the time Midori and Bakugo are both 14, they've matured into basically formidable foes. Like, they're both really strong. Like, I'd probably compare them to, like, in terms of ability, they'd probably place... Who would I compare it to? Hold up. I'd probably compare them to likes of maybe Tiger or Rocklock. I'd probably compare them both to that at this point. I think that's a good ranking. So Rocklock is only 5'8". He looks a lot bigger. Might be the hair. Alright. Now, Midori's personality is very similar to All Might's, the fact that a strength quirk, like, quirks do affect your personality. Bakugo has an excellent explosion quirk, he has an explosive personality. So Midori's quirk with strength basically gives him, he has faith in his own body. It's a natural inherent thing that he believes his body is the strongest, and he is not wrong. So, like, basically it's a mixture of automatic arrogance, but due to the endurance quirk portion of it, it basically gives Midoriya unwavering optimism as well, to the point where his arrogance and optimism are very just kind of well entwined, to the point where he's arrogant, sure. He also reassures you when he's about to hit the shit out of you. So it's very weird, but he's been basically a big mixture of All Might and Midoriya sometimes. Makes it a bit of arrogance. So, yeah. But different thing here is the fact he's very uncomfortable with social situations because his only friend is Bakugo. So, yeah. His only friend is Bakugo, never really grew up alone. He does not know how to have, a conversation with anyone aside from Bakugo. Like, if he's not being yelled at in a conversation, he doesn't know where's going to go. Like literally, Mitsuki, Masaru, and Bakugo, and then his mom. Those are the 4 people he talks to. And 3 of which are adults, just 2 of his friend's parents, and then his mom. So, yeah. Bakugo, on the other hand. In this one, Midoriya learned martial arts. You're wondering, why would he do that? He has an uncontrollable strength quirk. His quirk is automatically, he is very strong. Like, when Just Awakened, he shoved Bakugo through a cement wall, and there were 5. So, wasn't even a shove, it was more like a throw. Or at least, kind of just, it wasn't even a throw, but it had the equivalent force of being thrown by a grown man. But, yeah. Well, it's spiked, but still. So, yeah, Midoriya was in martial arts. The fact that he needed to control his body and power, and martial arts would have been a good way to do that. Without a random martial art, I had it on Sambo. Why not? Then Bakugo wanted to keep up with Midoriya, like just hand-to-hand combat-wise, learn martial arts as well, and his mom put him in karate. So, yeah. Now, Bakugo's personality is the fact that he actually has a pretty good sense of discipline, control, and humility, but only towards Midoriya. Because Midoriya has humbled him more times than you can count. Like, Bakugo thinks he's strong, sure, they fight, then he gets decked right in the chest and almost gets his chest caved in. So, yeah. Like, Midoriya's almost died at least 4 times against Midoriya because he does not know how to keep himself in check against fighting someone who can punch a hole through most people. Like, he will punch a hole through a lot of characters without really much effort. Like, I'm just going to throw a random character. Like, look around on my hero list. Going. Snipe. Yeah, Snipe. Why not? Snipe's a normal human with a targeting quirk. It doesn't make sense. Fuck it. Look at villains. That's a Vigilante's character. Only any of you have Vigilantes. Chimera. Good. Yeah, he can punch a hole clean through Chimera without really trying. He just does not. He doesn't, but he wouldn't. He can, though. He can punch a hole through most characters pretty easily. Chimera is a strong character. And Midoriya can, without much effort, can punch clean through his chest. So, yeah. So he can punch at, like, hundreds of miles an hour. Or if he charges it up, that punch will go from, like, let's say 300 miles an hour all the way to Mach 10. So, yeah, he will kill someone without really trying. Now, back to Bakugo. Now, he does retain his ambition and fire, but his arrogance is much lowered because, like I said before, constant humbling. But Bakugo also does acknowledge he has a very, very, very big glaring weakness. That one weakness is his own quirk. Because Quirk, 1, is very loud. It's deafening him slowly. But he still can hear pretty well. He just knows it's going to affect his hearing at some point. 2, using his quirk too much does actually hurt his body. It hurts his muscles. But the best way to compare his personality is to his post-Deku apology personality. Today, Midoriya is actually a rival, but also, doesn't even want to say it, that is his brother. That is his brother. Who's older? April 20th at 4:20. So April and July. Yeah. Bakugo basically considers Midoriya his little brother. No, I reckon, but no, to Bakugo, like, if he has to introduce Midoriya to, like, a stranger who they'll never meet again, there's a chance he's going to call Midoriya his younger brother. Now, in class one day, Midoriya and Bakugo are casually chatting, and the teacher would announce their grades and how everyone in their class had passed. But then he reveals Midoriya and Bakugo both want to go to UA. The class has a flashback to Midoriya and Bakugo fighting other high school students. Or not high school, middle school students, even a few high schoolers. Because people hear about strong quirk users, and they want to get a piece of them. And they just remember Midoriya wailing down on people without really much effort. And Bakugo basically blowing everyone everywhere. It wasn't really a hard fight. They had beaten hundreds upon hundreds of other students without really trying because they challenged them first. Now, as the school day ends, the two part ways. Bakugo's heading off to his martial arts class as he's about to get his black belt. Even though he's only been in it for 6 years, he is basically a master. He goes really hard, and he is a genius. Like, he is a certified genius in everything he does. So Bakugo's on his way to get his black belt, and Midoriya doesn't really have belts in his martial art, but yeah. In terms of skill, Bakugo is actually pretty much, he's pretty well above Bakugo, but Midoriya has seamlessly intertwined his strength, speed, durability, and skill all into one cohesive fighting style, which makes him a very hard opponent. But now Midoriya's going home to get a notebook because he filled up all 3 that he usually carries. One notebook for analyzing every quirk he's encountered filled up. One book dedicated to himself and Bakugo, documenting their quirks, their strengths, and the weaknesses. Yeah. And the final one is just filled up with ultimate moves and hero designs for him and Bakugo's costumes. He's that kind of person. Now, as Midoriya walks, he still gets encountered by the sludge villain, and he tries to switch himself around Midoriya's body. Midoriya pretty quickly just yanks away from the sludge villain like it's nothing. But he thinks it's kind of like a rope around you and trying to pull by someone who's not that strong. So you can pull life pretty easily. It's just kind of annoying. Excuse me. Let me pause. Sludge villain laughs at this. Perfect. A strong body like yours is just what I need. But he's running around Midoriya, but Midoriya pretty easily pulls away. Just keep him away from his mouth. What Midoriya does, basically cover his face and mouth, and then just rely on footwork. But meanwhile, he's charging up his one arm, and, motivating himself. Then he would punch out, blowing apart most of Sludge Villain's body, but some of it is still left, so it reforms quickly and attacks him even faster. But just as Sludge Villain was about to get close to him, he hears a loud yell. He hears a screeching short All Might laugh of, ha ha ha, fear not, I am here. All that. And All Might emerges, the Sludge Villain's weakened, and he didn't punch, he just waves his hand really hard and defeats the Sludge Villain. He's like, easy enough. He pulls a bottle out of his pocket, fills it up, and he realizes that Midoriya is probably the reason why the Sludge Villain was so weak. Pause. Now, All Might looks at Midoriya, wondering how he can the villain. Just sees Midoriya's body is pretty big, actually. He's not as imposing as a trained pro hero or anything, but he definitely has an athletic build. I'd probably compare it to a season like high school wrestling, maybe like that. My time in school, they're probably the most well people I've seen, but not overly bulky. So I'd probably compare Midoriya to that. So yeah. All Might calls Midoriya impressive, and eventually he actually asks Midoriya to walk with him to turn the villain. He wants to know about his quirk. How did he beat the Sludge Villain with just... Because All Might can't even hit him. He needs to hit the air. Midoriya explains what he did. So he explains his quirk and walks with All Might. They turn the Sludge Villain together. Midoriya also meets Namasa Tsukauchi, and All Might also tells him, Tsukauchi, oh yeah, this boy actually helped defeat this villain. I'm learning how now. And Midoriya actually tells them the full length of his strength portion of his quirk, the strength portion. Then, as they're going, eventually All Might doesn't realize his limit had been reached, as he's fascinated by Midoriya. But then suddenly, with there's smoke, and then in the smoke, there's a feral man hunched over, coughing up blood. Midoriya goes, All Might, what happened to you? But then All Might reveals his true form. 5 years ago, he fought All For One, and he blew apart the top of half of the guy's face, and All For One blew apart his stomach. His stomach does basically just not exist. So, yeah. So Midoriya just says, I don't get how you can always smile with an injury like that, but I guess that makes you even better. And All Might just laughs and smiles and says, a hero's duty is to reassure others. No matter how hard things get, a hero must stand tall. Midoriya clenches his fist, and to him, this revelation changes everything. All his life, he saw All Might as an invincible, unstoppable force, but he understands even the greatest heroes have their limits. Because Well, Midori, he grew up with people telling him, like, oh yeah, you have the strongest strength, you have the best strength work, you're unstoppable. No. So even though, like, oh my, physically is above Midoriya, has his limits, and Midoriya is seeing that limit be reached. So actually, this puts like a sense of like, I can be stopped in Midoriya's head. At the same time, he's as smart as he's ever been, yet also as weak as he's ever been, as his morale drops. Even All Might sees Midoriya's muscles get smaller. All Might asks Midoriya what happened, and Midoriya says, I guess I'm not motivated. And believe it or not, Midoriya flexes his arm, and his muscles come back. All Might asks him how he did that, and Midoriya explains the motivation portion of his quirk. All Might ends up laughing his head off. And he says, incredible! Quirk literally thrives when the hardest user. It's splendid. He even striking Midoriya in the back, not calling him perfect, but he thinks about it. Like, this boy is perfect. He's a perfect candidate. I haven't met that Mirio kid, but that Mirio kid has a lot to live up to quirk-wise if he wants one for all. After some discussion, All Might tells Midoriya to meet him at Takaba Municipal Beach tomorrow morning. Midoriya agreed. Midoriya assumes like All Might actually wants him as a sidekick or something. That's what he assumes it is. By the time Midoriya arrives at the beach, and he's met by, three people, but he only knows two of them. One of them, true form All Might. All Might just gives like a quick yo. But the other man is Sir Night-Eye. Night-Eye adjusts his glasses, looks Midoriya up and down, and looks at All Might and says, really, a middle school child. But he says, is that a problem? So Night-Eye just says, a great problem. But then, from behind, Night-Eye kicked right in the back, and he face plants in the sand. And he hears an old, or very gruff, old voice say, give him a break. And that person is Gran Torino. Pause. Okay. So, all people here are All Might, his true form, Sir Night-Eye, and Gran Torino. I'm just confused, wondering, what's happening? All Might just says, this is a test, young Midoriya. You can see if you're worthy. Midoriya's confused, and the test is then split into 3 phases that all are going to take in the span of a month. Well, a month and a week, so about 5 weeks. Now, phase 1. This is physical endurance and combat readiness. This is Gran Torino's trial. Testing Midoriya's strength, reflexes, and stamina. It's a rigorous sparring regimen, basically going to test Midoriya's endurance and how long he's willing to go. And he passes flying colors. He literally has a quirk called endurance. Also, there's energy saver. Yeah, he was in pain, but he stood tall the entire time. And he mimicked All Might's words back at Gran Torino of, a hero must stand tall. He just laughed, calling him cheesy, but he agrees. He's looking at him in a chair. But, yeah. But, Gran Torino, despite basically beating the shit out of Midoriya without really trying, or putting in much effort, Midoriya was still standing, and that gives him a pass for the endurance, but his skill leaves much to be desired in Gran Torino's case. To be fair, Gran Torino was like, how old is he? Pause. Okay, 2 things. I was not say how old Gran Torino is, but All Might is like in his 60s, so Gran Torino is probably in his 80s. But also, his height. He is 3'11", 4 foot on a good day, currently. How the fuck was he 6'7" in the past? Like, I get All Might's big and Gran Torino's probably that size. How did he shrink down 3 whole feet? That doesn't happen. Maybe like a few inches, sure. 3 feet does not happen. Also, other thing, we see that Gran Torino's like alive in the post war. He's alive in the epilogue. He is over 100 in the epilogue. So his recovery, All Might's in his 80s in the epilogue. Probably not 80s. Probably actually, I think the epilogue is only 8 years. So actually, so he might be actually exactly 100, or maybe around getting to 100. And All Might probably mid 70s or maybe early 80s. But yeah, All Might and Gran Torino are really old. I never picked that up. But yeah, Gran Torino kicked the shit out of Midoriya for a while. But then, Midoriya basically passes flying colors for endurance, and skill's really all he trained with for Gran Torino. Gran Torino did realize Midoriya is he's definitely a very skilled kid. Gran Torino has higher expectations because he was a hero for decades. So, yeah. Now, weeks 2 through 4. Objective. It basically to test Midoriya's decision making and his mental fortitude. It's basically what Night Eye wants to test. You know, someone with incredible mental ability, because the fact that he's overcome a lot. Let's see if Midoriya has similar mental fortitude. This is a capture flag exercise where Midoriya must basically evade Night Eye's mind. Not mind, but just his foresight using his mind. Night Eye can predict all Midoriya's moves within a limited time frame. Midoriya's forced to think someone up ahead, not get demoralized, all of that. Now, Midoriya does fail for the entirety of the first week and third week. But by week 4, he actually would pass, but barely. Mainly because she would grab the keys on the ground, and that says, you fail again. I guess you're worthless. But it's the flag saying that Midoriya is holding it up. He had 2 fingers around it as he fell and lifted it up. Now by facepalm, realizing he saw that, he just missed that small detail. Now, Midoriya, basically the fact that he just missed a very small detail in his mind. He thought Midoriya just grabbed it, not hooked it. So with that, Nada just groans and says, you sneaky little bastard. Good job. Now, week 5, the final week. The objective is to determine if Midoriya has the true heart of a hero. All Might actually talk with the police, and set up a few undercover officers to act as distressed civilians. And as they go around, Midoriya has to save them, or at least find a way to save them without getting in trouble. So with this Midoriya had actually saved a few people. And then, they said they're being mugged. Midoriya would jump over, grab the mugger's arm, and literally just shove them back. So with that, when the mugger tries to get close again, Midoriya just grabs the person and runs off. You're not really allowed to fight, because, you're not allowed to use your quirk unless you're a hero or a license. Unless you're a hero or have a certain kind of license, I believe. Or it's hey, there's something going on, if someone's in trouble, what do you do? And Midoriya prioritizes the person he's saving than himself, the heart of a hero. Good. Also, he has to train to push beyond his mental and physical limits, and he does that frequently. It's how he trains. It's the only way he trains is if he's pushing every aspect of his being. So, yeah. But in the 5 weeks, Midoriya stands before the 3 heroes, who's exhausted, but, victorious. So with that, All Might, Gran Torino, Night Eye talk. Even Night Eye believes he's a great candidate, as good as Mirio. With that, All Might tells Midoriya of One For All, then gives him One For All. All Might tells Midoriya, as you know, my quirk isn't like most. To me, it's a torch and a tool to battle the greatest of evils, and now I question you as my successor. You are the next person who had the tool to defeat the greatest evils Japan has to offer. And once you're older, the world. Midoriya gulps and has tears in his eyes. Not because he's nervous, but because he's so happy someone sees that much value in him. So with that, Midoriya clenches his fist and tells All Might he'll do the best he can. All Might gives Midoriya a train of hair. Midoriya just says, are you sure? All Might says, would you rather me spit in your food? Midoriya shakes his head. Midoriya takes a piece of hair. Down it goes. So, yeah. Now, 9 months later, still entrance exam. The entrance exam is 10 months, but Midoriya had the first month basically determining if he's worthy of One For All. Now, Midoriya's primary trainers are All Might, Gran Torino, Sir Night Eye, occasionally, and Mirio, occasionally. So yeah, Midoriya meets Mirio. So, yeah. The 9 months are spent with Midoriya learning to control One For all learning to enhance his skill with Gran Torino's help, and also clean up the beach. It's not really a demand, but it'd be almost like, also it'd also be good if you kind of just help us clean up the beach. So, yeah. And Midoriya often comes by when it comes to the beach cleaning, and then after him and Midoriya will spar for a bit. So, yeah. So Gran Torino handles the strength and skill portions. All Might helps Midoriya with One For All control, and then, mental fortitude. And occasionally, Nada and Mirio will be there for quick sparring, or just battle tactic training. So yeah. By the end of the 9 months, Midoriya had trained with Bakugo a bit as well. Bakugo got trained sometimes with Midoriya. Not at the beach, but Midoriya just says he's even stronger, so he wants to train with Bakugo more often. We're going on to the first day of when they get to UA for the entrance exam. There, Bakugo actually has a new level of power. In fact, he trained with Midoriya so often. He doesn't know about One For All, but he thinks Midoriya's strength work got a lot stronger. But with this, Bakugo has actually had a pseudo-awakening. Because we know what that is, basically the fact that Bakugo's close to awakening, but he's not quite there yet, but he has some of the power from it. And what Bakugo's pseudo-awakening does, basically allows him to shoot explosions from just his entire hand, not just his palms. The back of his hand can explode. His fingertips, they can explode. His entire hand can cause explosions, and explosions of any kind. So, yeah. And also, if he claps, he can basically create a flashbang effect. So he has that as well. But we're going to stop here for now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. Adios.